Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. My name is Isabella. I work with marketing here at TATSoft, and I'm so happy to welcome everyone to our FrameworX AI Designer launch. I'm seeing you guys saying hello on chat already, so welcome. First things first, let me introduce our team. We have here Marta Cavini, who's our CEO and founder, and Eduardo Bogo, who is one of our automation engineers. Thank you so much for being here, guys. So before we get into anything, feel free to talk with us on chat. We won't answer the questions during the presentation unless something really jumps to mind. But let me know how everything is going, and we'll have a dedicated Q&A at the end. Don't worry. So yeah, we are here today to kind of talk about something that really has never been done before in industrial automation. We're really proud of it, and we're really going to see AI integration taking to the next level. So let's take a look at our agenda today, just to kind of show you guys how that's going to work. Eduardo, if you can go to the slide. Thank you. I'm going to do a quick intro just for us, for the people who don't know us. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the technologies around this launch. Mark and Eduardo are going to show us some really cool live demos where we're going to see AI actually building a solution from scratch. And then we're going to take a little bit of a deeper dive into the technical stuff. To wrap up, we'll talk a little bit about why this matters, and most important, which I know it's the exciting part, how to get started. And like I said, we'll have Q&A at the end. So just a quick intro. For those of you who don't know us, TATSoft has over 30 years of experience in industrial automation, thousands of installations worldwide, and a lot of experience in industries like oil and gas, energy, transportation. Our main product is the FrameworX platform, which really is a complete and unified SCADA, HMI, and IIoT platform. We have a UNS native architecture, and we serve everything from edge to enterprise. Built on .NET, and that .NET A foundation is kind of like the base of everything we do. So yeah, let's get started. Mark, I really wanted to introduce, let's start from FrameworX and the designer, and because that is key to what we're going to see today.
Yeah. Let's start what we see on the right side. That's we call the runtime, the execution environments. The reason FrameworX is like a Swiss arm that you can do IIoT, you can do MES, you can do SCADA, is because if you look on the right side, there are some typical modules and requirements to manage real-time data. So you need visualization, you need mobile, you need story, you need alarm, you need unified data model. So our runtime engine is very mature about those 3 decades. So it's able to execute a custom scenario that you create your custom scenario, you create customization to each specific requirement and plant you need. So, and to be able to apply that, we have the tools on the left side. We have the solution manager that select which application are going to run, Docker, Linux, Mac, whatever. And the main configuration tool is the designer. The designer is a beauty because it's one unified tool that have all the modules, canvas display, dashboard display, database, communication, scripting, built-in extras. It's a completely unified, integrated environments to allow you create your application. And your 2 cents about this architecture, Eduardo?
Sure. We want to facilitate your life to build your application, so we have all this environment that make possible to do that.
That's it. Efficient and simplistic to the core. And we do have the integration with AI is not a module. We have been working for many years in version 10 of Framework to be what we call AI native. So all the foundation of the AI was created to the core in the product. So some of the main features, the AI runtime, we saw that last year to be able to have language language model doing interaction with the application running. Next one, your turn, Eduardo, machine learning.
Sure. We also have in frameworks the machine learning environment where we already have some dependencies that are included in the product for implementing machine learning. And we use .NET, we have the libraries from ML.NET. So basically you have just to code that and it's ready to go.
But I like Python. What can I do?
Okay, sure. We also have integration for Python. So basically you can run machine learning either in .NET or in Python.
Great. Next, this AI era is evolving so amazing fast. 1 year ago, we're very happy that we put our Ask Framework docs. That was a ChatGPT that could reply questions about our product. But that one, it's it's like old school because we have something that's just make that look like 10 years old technology. That's the focus of presentation. That's AI for the designer. Is having AI and our designer tool working as one to deliver full complete applications. And Eduardo, before we explain how it works and do the demonstration, you did the preview of that technology 1 week ago at Provit in Dallas, did you? You did a
Sure.
workshop. And not going to details on what it does, tell me the reaction when they saw that in your workshop.
Okay, so definitely that's a complete new technology that TEDsoft is introducing to the market, and integrators or end users usually to spend a lot of time building the solutions. And now we brought this technology that builds you the solution. It helps first users to start using the product, give new ideas. So it's a complete new environment and new way to work with.
In fact, you told me everyone that saw acknowledge that's not just enhancements. For the last 3 decades, 4 decades, never the SCADA market changed so drastically on how you can interact the application. They gave
Yeah,
that
it
feedback.
will it will change the way that people will work with automation softwares. I truly
Okay,
believe in that.
so let's do one more step. Go to next slide there. How does that technology work? I'm not going too much detail, but some the basic. Okay. One key name you need to know is called Model Context Protocol. Is the underlying technology that allows the integration with AI agents like Claude, like Gemini, like Copilots, like Cursor, and our platform. So the underlying protocol is MCP. And we create 18 tools. So far, that's not special. Everyone is doing that. But what's really key, it's not the tools, a list of tools, is that the domain intelligence. We did not create tools to recreate objects, to create displays. No, 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 no. That's a consequence. We spend lots of effort to teach AI to understand frameworks. We put the effort to make AI to understand when you are developing automation projects, what are the typical steps you do, how you organize your modules, how is the architecture of your application, and how is your mindset, your mental model when creating that application. That's what we call the domain intelligence, is how you share the information. So know how to create this or that object is a consequence, because we really made the AI be able to be really good in automation in general, and to know very deeply high level understands of our platform. So do your 2 cents on that one, and you talk about the number 3, Eduardo.
Sure. And with all of that, now we have AI integrated in the core of frameworks. So it makes possible to understand the whole platform. It has information about all the configuration tools that we have in frameworks. And that makes possible to do the ask questions. to request changes, generate the documentation once the solution is done. I've done some examples where I had a solution created and I asked to do the documentation on top of that, and it create in minutes or seconds. So yeah, that's what makes possible to have all this integration.
You put an important point. We are going to show now in the demo to create a simple application from scratch.
Mhm.
But this tool is not for that only. Of course, it's one of the many things, but you can create large applications. You can do quality check. You can do self-documentation. You can do audit trail. You can do lots of automated workflows or power workflows. That's not about doing the same thing quicker. It's about enabling workflow that was not unthinkable without that.
Mhm. That's an important point. We are showing to create a solution, but you also can modify an existing solution.
Yes. So let's see what's that about.
Okay.
Yeah, and just for those who came in after, remember we'll have a dedicated Q&A at the end, but feel free to leave your questions on chat. I'll keep an eye out and I'll leave you guys to it.
Okay, I have my setup, my environment set up here. So the challenge that was given to the AI, we had the specification for a water treatment plant. And one thing to be very clear is that we didn't do that. We don't have this specification in a specific format. You can have your own specification and input to the AI. But in this case here, we have this water treatment plant with some areas, some PLC information, in this case, control logics. We have this declaration for the areas here, which tag each area has. And we also have this table here with alarms information. Any comments on that, Mark?
Oh, it's a typical specification an end user or a stakeholder will do about the automation project, saying, here's my plans, here's who I intend to automate, those are the equipments I have. So that's the basic start to the system. And I see you are adding that PDF file to your prompt, and you're adding
Yes.
also some information about the PLC.
Yeah, so basically what we are inputting to the prompt is a specification that I just showed you, but also the PLC program. This is a L5K file, which you can export from your ControlLogix PLC. If you're not familiar, it's just the tag declarations that is inside of the PLC and also the addresses and a couple more information.
That's nice. And because someone may be looking from their mobile or audio, read out loud the prompt you are going to send to the AI.
Okay, so here we are in the Cloud AI, and the prompt we're doing is inputting the two files that we talked about and asking, okay, build a new framework solution for a Highland Municipal Water Treatment Plant. The plant specification is in PDF, and the PLC program is also input. Create a unified namespace following ISA 95 standards, map the PLC points using ControlLogix driver, and add a value simulator protocol for test purposes. Add alarms based on the compliance limits, the one that are in the specification, and also the historian for the process variables. Then finally create a 3x2 dashboard with gauges on the first row and trend visualization data grid in the second. Analyze which variables that would benefit from machine learning for later implementation. Start up everything and give me a summary.
It looks like what I used to ask you, Eduardo, 2 years ago for you to. So now you are pick up this entire package and send to the AI. Okay.
Right.
So let's run and see.
Okay. Okay, running the query. And in FrameworX, we have some informations available to the AI. So the first thing it does to read those information and understand the platform, and say, okay, I have the designer tool available. Let me read the L5K file and let me create the solution now. Okay, the solution is loading. I can see my other screen here. Okay, it's open. And you see this orange highlight here, and also the AI MCP badge in orange. It means that the AI is actually acting in the solution. So,
So the AI is not creating files. The AI is live copilot, our designer tool.
yes, you can see here that it's while it's doing it says what's doing. So it's getting the schemas from the configuration in frameworks, and it says, okay, I got both protocol schemas. It's referring to the control logics and the value simulator. So let's build the pillar one, which is the unified namespace. So Mark, can you explain what are the
Yeah, that's
pillars?
important. We organize generically automation project in 4 pillars. Number one, data foundation, the unified namespace. Number two, the core automation modules that are alarms, storage, and device communication. Pillar number three, business operations, scripting, reports, databases. And finally, number four, user interaction. And it's following this methodology, and you just create lots of tags. I see that.
That's correct. It's saying that it's creating the user types and the tags. So
Oh,
now
interesting.
we have the full unified namespace.
And it was so quick, but he created the UGTs, the user data types, based on the L5K file. So it did
Yes.
inspection on the PLC application to identify what was the UGTs and create the data model according the UGTs they have in that plant.
Yes, you can see the types here. These are the UDTs that it created.
And he put the description, scaling, and he defines also the tree, so it follows. And what's it's doing now?
It says that it's creating the pillar two, the devices, control logic, and value simulator. And you saw that it created the channel, the nodes, which are the PLC specifically, where you define the IP, and now all the addresses. So let's scroll down a little bit here in the table. You can see all the things that were created.
But I have a question, I'm confused. His create application for you, or is it giving you a training course how to create the application? Which one?
You can
Or
see
both?
both ways. If you're a new user to frameworks and you don't know where to do this configuration for control logics, you can ask the AI, and the AI will drive you to that page. And now it's creating the alarms. Okay, there you go. It's created.
So you see what AI is doing, and AI also sees what you do. So if you have any question, what I'm looking here, you can ask, you can point the mouse and ask the AI, and they will say, what I'm looking here is the configuration for this or for that. So the two environments, they are unified, and the AI tool really knows and understanding what's doing. He's analyzing and building. He's not following blind recipes.
That's correct. The AI knows what you're doing and understand the context of what you are doing. So we
Mhm.
just created the historian tags. It also put some deadbands for some process variables here.
And when he's doing those dead bands, those alarm limits, it's combining three sources of information: his general knowledge for the training model, plus the specification, plus the frameworks layer. And what's doing now?
Is creating the display. So as we requested to build a 3x2 dashboard, it's starting to create that. The first thing before modifying some part of the software is getting the schema, and now it's actually building.
To understand how I create a gauge, how I create a trend chart. So he
Mhm.
does a little analysis of the objects available. Of course, in real life, if you want to give very precise instruction, build me exactly this or exactly that, of course you also can. But when you don't need to go that specific, AI will fill the blanks in the best way possible in the direction we point.
And it's not just putting the objects on the screen. it understands all the dynamics and the properties for those objects to actually configure the object and make it actually work.
And not
So,
only
okay.
on dashboards, you can do also traditional process diagrams, Canva drawings. Can it?
Sure, we are going to show the next demo.
Yeah.
And now it's starting up the runtime.
And before someone asks, oh, start the runtime. No, it starts a security sandbox that in frameworks you call the execution environment development. So probably we will not have time to go on the many things, but one reason I say a framework was natively created to AI, we have been years working how to make AI be in the seat piloting as we see, but at the same time has all gates for the configuration and execution to be secure. We'll talk a little bit about that, but that's a workshop by itself. But we did that, to be clear.
So
Great,
here you
here's
can
my
see
day.
the runtime actually working.
Oh, I see some alarms in the charts, in the trend charts.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
cool.
you can see some alarms. You have the trend visualization, and also it's integrated with the alarm, so it shows you where it triggered the alarm.
Our support just got a question: how to make to show the alarms on the trend charts?
There you have.
Ask the AI, just do to me and show me what you did. Okay.
Yeah.
So alarms, trends, data grids, controls. That's it. And also you ask it to
And
do
you
some
can
analysis.
see that it's verifying the runtime solution.
Oh, interesting.
By the way, it can capture screenshots to verify any information in the software.
And it can also read the value of the text, by the way.
Yeah.
And
we also request a couple more information. It's still finalizing, but
what was that? 5 minutes, 7 minutes? That's the time I will take to just read the PDF. I know, even with my all experience, I'll be probably finishing to read the PDF file. And I was looking to the L5K file and thinking how I don't like to be a PLC programmer anymore.
Yeah, on the main things that you save time with AI is to understand all the architecture. You can do that very quick. So you don't have to think so much in how to implement anything.
And
okay, and now it's giving the summary.
It can modify completely. So we're not going to do that now, but you can say modify those tag names, follow this standard, modify those alarm limits, do another strategy for the historian. You can act as will. And what's really nice about AI, you focus in the results, what I need to achieve, and how to do the best way to that, the steps to that, it take care. So you can put the focus where the human mind is really in his brilliant piece, that he should decide what we're going to do, what I want to achieve, leaving all the details to the AI.
Sure. One thing that we didn't show very well in this demo exactly was it just hurrying up in the summary. So let's check it out. Okay, for the pillar one, we have the unified namespace. It says the user type that was created, the tags, and then says about the device. So we have the control logics with the IP defining the specification.
How many tags and how many points?
Let me see, 74 device points map.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For control logics, and then a couple for the valve simulator. 37 alarms items within 2 groups.
Mm-hmm. Critical and warning. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then for the historian, we had 50 tags, 1 dashboard. And remember that we also requested to give an idea where to implement the machine learning. So here's the output. It
Oh,
understands the whole solution, and it's giving us where should we implement machine learning.
wow. After all I saw, I can assume if you ask, he would be able to do that for you also.
Sure, he can create scripts for you.
Okay, perfect. And
And
then he put a summary. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
just
So
for an
he said, what?
example of this machine learning here, yes, filter head loss rate. You should implement anomaly detection or regression to predict the time to backwards, detect media degradation early, and it gives you much more ideas.
So it gives you where you can apply machine learning, what the benefits you can accomplish. So you can decide which ones are going to do, and then tell the AI to complete the configuration. Nice.
That's correct. It's just like having an engineer next to you that can
Mhm.
basically create anything.
That's perfect. And he can also produce nice reports on the application, nice summaries.
Yes, you could create
Mhm.
documentation, use that for maintenance. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I amazing. And but let's do more. Okay. This was very nice, very quick, but it's a more or less simple application.
Mhm.
You were at ProVit in Dallas last week, and there was a trade show for end users and integrators. And one of the workshops there, I think they gave you a challenge to create a bigger application, 5, 6 displays, and they gave 2 or 3 days to the integrators to do during the show. Tell us about that. What was
Yeah,
that
I
meeting?
was I was talking with one of the customers, and he told me that there was an workshop to create some solution in automation, and they gave 72 hours to the people to create this solution.
And
And
what the
then the moment he,
what was the solution supposed to do?
okay, the solution is a fast food line production and
Mm-hmm.
also revenue inventory, and it includes all the unified namespace, the alarms, the historian, and they were supposed to do that in 72 hours. But
So
when
sells the
this,
product, keep track of the bill of materials, do also calculation on the revenues, and you have a few user interface and a few script logics to do that full implementation. And they ask the users to complete that in 2, no more than 3 days. That's it?
yes, and
Okay.
then when they saw our new technology, they okay, can you do that with this technology? And then I'll say, okay, let's do that, and that's what we
The,
came
the,
up
the
with.
user asked you during the show
Yeah,
if you could do that. Okay. You
and
say,
then he
okay, let's
sent me
try.
the specification, and
Okay.
here we have.
Tell
So
me about the
basically, here you
example.
can, yeah, here we have some. You can add soda, breadstick, and then you can start your order. And just so you know, all the visual part here, the scripts, the objects, it was 100% done by AI.
100%. You did not
Yeah,
touch the mouse to build any of those displays.
no, not at
Okay.
all.
Mm-hmm.
So the building time was actually 30 minutes, half an hour. And then I spent 1 hour, 1.5 hour to just finalize some details. But I did not touch the visual and the scripts, not at all. And
Wow.
basically here we have some pizza, breadstick, and soda ready, and we can eat. So we just receive $70 as revenue. And then when we go to the inventory, we can
That would
see
be
that we can manage the items, the quantities that we have for each product. And
nice.
we have a button to reset to 50, all of those, reset the revenue. And you can also change it here manually to, okay, I just have 4 cup inventory. And
Mm-hmm.
when it's below 5, if we go to the alarms, it triggers us an alarm. Okay, you have to buy more soda cup.
Interesting.
And then the last screen was actually the trend visualization for the quantities of products we have. And
Mm-hmm.
this is what he built.
So it's not only a display. You had those scripts to do the calculation, to reset, to drive the logic of the little shop.
Yes, that's correct. So just in summary, it creates 5 displays, these 4 that I just show you, and also the header. It creates a script, and also the script behind the displays. So it's a full working solution.
Wow, half an hour to build, more hour or so to polish. I mentioned that polish was give me a more beautiful pizza in the drawing, things like that.
So yeah, my first prompt didn't specify how visual I wanted to have this solution. So it created a much more basic display. And then I was, okay, it looks nice, but I want something more visual. So then I told it to the AI, and it came up with these objects: the pizza, the breadstick, the soda,
The color
everything.
scheme, everything.
Yeah, and you can notice that AI is very good on maintaining patterns. So we have the same color schema here and also in the other screens.
So let me understand. So the people say I'm not exaggerating. Wow, that changed completely the game. When they put on the workshop during, let's do this application in 2, maximum 3 days. I believe all the vendors, all the public, because it was a challenge, they thought it's a reasonable time. They didn't say, oh, no, too much time. It was like a challenge. The people expected to be at least 2 days on that, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah, they
Yeah,
expect to be 2 days and then 1 day for refining things.
yeah. They didn't expect to finish in less than 1 day with the
No,
other
definitely
system.
not.
And you did in 1 or 2, from 1 to 2 hours with the refinements. Let's say 2 hours with the refinements.
Yeah, that's
Amazing.
correct.
I was very tempted this morning. One of my engineers, our CTO, Roberto, showed me one application he created for performance monitoring on computers, benchmarking CPU calls, how long it takes to do scripting. He created a testing application for performance. Very nice UI also, all the scripting using Microsoft Diagnostic Advanced Scripting. He created that in 10 minutes. I almost forgot my promise to break the agenda and put that, but I will not do that. That will be my only comments. Go ahead, Eduardo.
Okay, I think this is the solution. I'll go back to the slides.
Like explain a little bit, because we're engineers, not magic, we'll show a little bit on how that happens. That's not a magic trick. Number one, why that's possible. We put our effort to make AI understand frameworks. So we have a very advanced architectural intelligence to disclose and manage knowledge and information with the AI. So the AI can understand UNS, unified namespace, model independence, dependencies, build sequence. He can have that knowledge. That's the number one reason that works so smooth. Next one, your turn.
So we say that we have full solution coverage. And what that means is that as we have AI integrated in the software, it understands fully the software and can create anything. So we are talking about tags, alarms.
All graphical controls, all configuration tables, all field properties, anything in the entire platform.
Yes, it understands every single table, configuration, object, symbol, everything.
That's amazing. And uh, the final amazing touch is this live IDE integration. What your
Yeah,
experience as a user with that, Eduardo, and giving training for the early adopters? Tell me what you're feeling of working with this tool and the previous experience with other tools as the new generation of engineers. Talk a little bit about your personal experience.
mhm. Just to tell what that is that you remember when we showed the orange highlight with the label MCP, that means that AI is acting your solution. So I truly believe that new users to frameworks can use this tool to, okay, you don't know where to set up a Siemens connection PLC. You can ask the AI and the AI will drive you there. It will show, okay, first you have to create a channel, then you create a node, and then you set up your points. And it take you there. So you don't really need to understand frameworks. you only have to understand, okay, I want to set up a PLC connection, which is something very basic, and you learn how to do that. But that's like that for the whole software.
Amazing. And having me, you have been a few weeks now working for that. How is to feel set up in a previous version of our product or another product that don't have that? How you
But
feel?
you have to go through our 700-page documentation and finding the place to do that setting. So now you can just ask AI and it will take you there.
You be fair to say that's like have a phone that only do phone calls. It's not a smartphone.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. And this is real now. So after my challenge to you as an engineer, take the test drive. After working a few hours, or not say even days, you see that's amazingly so much smooth, quick, powerful, everything. And by the way, the 700 pages of documentation, AI knows it all. He also was feeds with the entire documentation stack, by the way. You'll see that the experience is so amazingly different that you even our company, of course, you know where are our products, but our own engineers are always using AI now because it's so much better and easier.
Yeah, one benefit I can saw is I was doing the solution and I figured out that I could never think about doing a screen beautiful like that. So the AI also give you ideas of what to implement and how to implement.
Everyone has its bottleneck. To some is the UI. To someone maybe the coding. To some other one is the database connection or understand PLC points. So even the good engineers, they may have some specific areas here or there. And the AI fits that all to complement you, to guide you, and to elevate you to a level amazingly high.
Yep,
Perfect. What's next?
about the skills.
Before I talk about skills, I have one thing interesting that's the gated security. I want to put a quick comment there. I will not explain our entire security stack. That will be a 1 hour presentation. But a simple example, what you call gated security, is the MCP user and the MCP category. By default, AI can modify in the application what AI created. And the user can add or remove objects in that tool set at any time. So even you allow the AI to connect with an existing solution, you decide that AI will be able to read everything or not. You can even disable the reading, but to act, you have full control in a very granular way, tag by tag, which ones AI can act or not in doing the modifications.
And we
And
also have the user for MCP, right? So you can track the changes that were done in the solution and you saw what the MCP does.
we do have integration with Git, so we can publish to Git repositories, but we have built in the product natively a full change tracking management system. So without external tool, you have all the log or all the modifications and who is doing what. And what are skills? How that completes the picture?
Okay, so skills are a subset of knowledge, specific knowledge that you have some other information. Any information. It could be, for example, PID information. You can, if you have some project in oil and gas, you can do a skill for that where you put specific information about that subject. So we have our framework skill embedded, but you can also create your own. So just like I said, if you work in oil or gas, you can create your skill, and then every solution you create in that area will use that skill. It can have naming conventions, specific knowledge, anything you can put there.
Templates of reports I need to comply.
Yep. And
So
it
it's
also maintains the pattern.
yeah, it's also bringing a vertical expert in one topic to your team. I'm going to use a project with those areas of knowledge. So I bring those skills and the AI will, in fact, search for the skills as it needs. That's what it does.
And then if you are building 20 applications in the same area, you can reuse this skill for every single application.
And in fact, I believe AI itself can guide you to enhance the skills.
Yeah,
We did
I've
that.
done that. So I send basic information, so some for something, and then okay, create me a skill about that, and then I just improve the skill.
Yeah, you did that for the Provid show also. I saw that.
Yeah.
uh, Perfect. And one thing I want to be clear, because it's so exciting, what I did show you now, and I'll be very clear on that, it's not what AI can do. No, no, no. We did show you the little piece that's the top of the iceberg. If my physics is right, I believe it's 110 times, more or less, the what's uh, outside the water. But that's more or less the same scaling. That's only the teaser because the possibilities are so amazing. For instance, I did a review of a customer application that had more than 250 scripts in the application. It's more like a Visual Studio application and frameworks because they have lots and lots of custom code in that application for a couple of reasons. And I did not use the designer tool. Use another feature that we have called Console MCP, which allows connection with cloud codes, another amazing tool from Anthropics, that works directly with the configuration by passing the UI. And he did a full quality analysis on that application, found some potentials for SQL injection, found around 25 critical issues that the user must correct that application. It was just amazing.
You can also find password exposures, anything that's in the solution,
Everything.
basically.
Great. Perfect. What's next? Why that matters? There is one reason, should be obvious, but it's not. Because we are talking a lot building, 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 and you show the AI building. So now, I'm sorry, forget system integrators. I'm pretty sure if you are an engineer, if you build applications, you are sold. You see how amazing it is. But now I want to have a talk with the end user, with the owner of the facility, with the IT managers, with the operational and field teams, the stakeholders in general. So tell me, Isabella, what's the message for those non-developers, no technical groups, why that matters to them as much, if not more, than it matters to a system integrator.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. Great demo. Great to see it in action. And we highlighted here four things, but obviously the benefits go crazy. If we think about quality, AI really is much better at following engineering best practices, proper naming, proper line structures. So that really gives it consistency that humans have a hard time following. When we think about security and audit, I know security is a concern when we think AI, and we have some questions around that already. But the truth is that every AI action is logged, so compliance really writes itself.
And
Everything is yeah,
combine what Isabella just said about the quality on naming standards, what your explanation for skills. Just a small parenthesis, Isabella.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, we have a skill in our website which the AI can also browse called Acne Convention. And it can, when you load this skill, it creates your solution based on that name convention. So tag names, all the tables, everything you want to have will have a specific naming convention that grants quality and also consistency.
So the quality is not an after the fact to see to follow the standards. With the AI, the quality is on the beginning of the process, feeding the engineers and the AI what are the processes they should follow. That's a very important distinction. Go ahead, Isabella.
No, I think that's super important to highlight. Then we get into reliability, which is AI doesn't make typos, it doesn't forget things, it doesn't skip backups, things like that. The rules that you implement will be followed. And obviously, that gains you speed into everything. So obviously, it's about giving engineers, like we call them, superpowers. But it's also, operation teams really get better documented applications, better configured, and really more reliable than anything that a human could do.
If I am a manager of a factory that I have 25, 50 applications developed by all kinds of system integrators, I can
Mm.
have my AI agents from time to time talking with those applications, make me a report of configuration changes and operation of the status and any other guidance of those 50 applications, not having to talk with my integrators. Is that what the managers of the factory can do now, Isabel?
Absolutely. So that's what it's about. It's not always about creating new solutions or even changing the ones. Just having more visibility into everything you do is already key into all of this.
Perfect.
So, and the next slide is we already got one question here from Wade, which is, can I play with this? And if you want to go, yes, you can
Please.
download right now. No cost downloads. The full AI integration is included. Our documentation will guide you how to set it up. I strongly encourage everyone to download, play around, but also contact us. We can talk about building your solution from your own specs, discussing it. I think at some point, Spacewalker mentioned like something, um, you having good requirements, then reviewing it, because invariably people leave some details out initially, and that's all it's all about. It is a work that works better on a feedback look. You put in your first specs, it gets you an idea, and obviously the work's not done. You review it,
A continuous
you
process.
adjust. But it's much faster, much easier, and I think one thing people don't give enough credit is that it gives you ideas. It's really having another engineer at the table. Because, like Eduardo said, some of the things he wanted from the application, he hadn't even thought of making it more visual or more like that. And seeing the AI do it or suggesting it, I was like, oh, yeah, you know what? That might be good. So having that one is like having an Eduardo at the table that you can discuss with.
Yeah. And your experience was great. It did in half an hour the basics, but
Yep.
then we stay 1 hour and so refining. That's expected workflow. The AI is not supposed to be an outbook box that delivers your final results. It was a huge accelerator training partner, is your own experts helping you to build that much better, much quicker, and have a much better life in general.
That's awesome. And I will move to Q&A because we got a bunch of questions.
Oh,
But first, any last thoughts, Eduardo, Mark?
I
I
will.
think good
It's
talking.
true. I've been working that business for 40 years. I'm older than I look. And we never saw any any shift, any phase on that. Trust my experience on that. Dive into that. Be the ones leading, not the ones that in 6 months or near 2 years from now be desperate and see what I did. The world moved and I was stuck it. It's really, really amazing and it's really important. I will not say that lightly. And
I
you,
think
Eduardo?
that's, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I think you say it all. Thank you.
And thank you guys for being here, for showing us the demo. There's much more. We'll have the discussion still, a lot of events around this. But I think this was a great first introduction. So thank you everyone for being here. And I will get to the questions and I'll get them in order, to be fair. Um, so let me put just you guys, just us. And first things first, from Andrew Meller, he asked what Claude license is required.
At minimum, that's $10 or $20 a month. I don't
Yeah,
know.
just a pro,
The
normal.
pro.
Yeah, the pro.
And
That's
I
the
think it's
minimum.
worth highlighting that Claude is not the only AI that
Oh, yeah.
works with this. It's just
Yeah.
the one we recommend.
Other one. We do not recommend the free tires
Mm,
because you don't have data privacy with those.
yes.
And their performance is not great also. For advanced users, the $100 license of Anthropic, it pays off. When you multiply your ability by 2 times, by 5 times, some cases, more in some cases, you don't know the exact metric yet. We know it's more than 2 times, way more than 2 times. $100 a month, it pays off. So if you're a power user, go right away to the top tier.
Awesome. And he did ask as well, how many tokens does it use? Which I know depends.
The session starts only for around 3,000 tokens, but then it starts creating projects that grows. But the initial code start is around 3,000 tokens.
And just so you know, in these demos, we use the Sonnet model with no extended thinking.
We're not even use the top model in those demos. By the way, the Sonnet, that's intermediate model, it's very good for applications. You don't need to go to the top tier to do basic configuration.
And Wade and Dave just asked that. So yeah, we're actually using Sonnet. Yes. And Dave is using extended mode. We're not even using that for that
no,
demo.
We're not using extended mode. The result, to be clear, with Opus and extended mode is also very good.
Yeah.
But the delay, the extra token, does not give enough result to justify the gap on performance. So Sonnet is our number one choice for applications.
And I think since we're on tokens, we were also asked if it's included in the enterprise license or built separately, and I think it's included.
The license of whatever AI model, as you pointed out, it's not only Claude. You can use Gemini, you can use Cursor, you can use Copilot. It's between you and the AI company directly. Because when you're doing those things, who is processing the language model is not us. They process your requests, they understand what frameworks can do, and they act on us. But it's your application, your chatbot, that's connecting direct with their companies, not through us.
We provide a connector.
Yes.
Which bridge between the AI and frameworks.
Yes.
Perfect. Another one from Andrew, very specific. Can it parse JSON payloads from MQTT? And yes, for sure.
By the way, our entire application now, you can export and import in JSON files, not only the data model, even the configuration itself. Yeah, JSON is the native language of AI. So for sure, yeah.
Another one about data security. We talked a little bit about this, but they asked if the specs are shared openly with the LLM, or is it kept local?
It's not shared openly with the LLM. If you have the paid license, the license agreements say that the paid license and the enterprise license, they have the data privacy is protected. So they cannot legally using any interaction with you and the AI for the training or data breach. So it's protected in that sense. The same is with Google Gmail, like that. The data belongs to you if you use the paid license.
Yeah, I think it's worth highlighting that. Spacewalker asked about some docs, and we do have, I know, one for how to connect, but he also specifically if the Coder UI is already included, if you need your own user API key, and even
well, first of all, in our documentation site, docs.statsoft.com, as I'm talking, you can probably open that page, AI integration, Eduardo, so they have a glimpse. We have there all the documentation on how to install includes and the other tools. And the beauty of our solution, you don't need API tokens at all. You just use the standard version of Claude Desktop. And that's it. You don't need to set up API tokens, neither with them, neither with us. It's that simple. So in our documentation site, I really recommend you to start your learning on the AI integration. And from there, we have all the information on how to set up the AI. And another recommendation, after you install the MCP tools, forget the documentation. Just ask Claude anything you want. He'll do amazing, great job, probably much better than you looking at the documentation. Great. What's next?
Awesome. No, perfect. A couple of comments on being excited to try this. Wade, you're excited, interesting to try the Git integration. That's unrelated to this, but let us know how that goes. And then I got one specific here, which is, can you enter your own UX rules? And for sure.
That's the beauty. We have a stacked knowledge layer. So we have our basic settings on frameworks. Then you can add to your own server your knowledge stack, your skills. So you can fully customize the behavior of your instance when using that.
That's perfect.
About that, one thing I've done, I just remember, was to export the displays as a JSON file and then reuse this JSON in other projects. So he already know what I want to create.
Yeah, and you can ask him to create a skill with that. I like this kind of UI to this kind of solution. Write me a standard so that kind of project, you follow those guidelines.
And even more simple, whenever I need to create framework solutions and I want to follow a specific guideline, I just screenshot and I say, this is the look and feel I want to follow. And he gives it its best.
That works also.
Yeah. So I'll see if you have more questions, but I just wanted to note here that Wade said we've made significant progress in the few weeks since we saw this at Prove It. And I would just note that this is kind of like the best part of working with these tools. They are changing so much and so quickly and giving us so many possibilities. Like Mark said, this demo today, they're just a little taste of what it can be done, because there's so much more to come. Yeah, and I appreciate this comment as well. Game changer leader right here. Thank you. I think this is really, truly
it's different. In this case, I accept, because we also believe that.
Well, we really do. And I think we are done with questions for now. I know you guys will play around with it and have more questions. Please feel free to talk with us. You can reach us out on our website, info@datsoft.com as well. Let us know. Our support team is always here for you to kind of help you get started with all those tools that are very different. But we truly believe this is a game changer. We're really proud of it, and we would like to show you more and more. But I think this was a great first introduction. I would just like to thank everyone, both Mark and Eduardo, for your time, but everyone who joined us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I appreciate it. Have a good week. For those, keep an eye on our website. We'll have more information soon. And Wade, you're right. Is Discord still a good place for tech questions? Absolutely. Let me link our Discord on here on chat for you guys. You can also use that medium to talk with us.
And if possible, the best day for that is Tuesdays. We like to give more attention. We call the Tech Tuesday. We try to be more live on Discord every Tuesday, the entire week, but Tuesday is our typical Tech Tuesday Discord day.
Absolutely. So yeah, if you are watching us here on YouTube, feel free to leave your like and a follow. We'll have a lot more stuff regarding the AI integration. So I hope to see all of you very soon. So thank you, everyone. Have a good week, and keep an eye on our website. We'll have more information about all of this, including this presentation, live there as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.